This is Evangelist Suzanne Neal, praying that your week has been great. As we embark upon a new school year, we do want to take the time to pray for our children that's going back, also the teachers and the staff that shall be acquainting with our children. We do want to be mindful of the seasons in which we live in, and that if it's ever been a time to pray, now is a time that we should pray. Even though they've taken prayer out of our schools, it doesn't necessarily mean that we as the people of God have taken prayer out of our lives. We are accountable for our own children, and I would that each and every one of you would rise up on Monday morning, anoint and pray for your sons, your daughters, as they enter into the schoolhouses this season. We recognize the laws that have been passed. We recognize the struggles that's still going on, the warfare between good and evil, men calling that which is evil good, and men calling that which is good evil. And so therefore with that we must take ownership of our seed, of our sons and our daughters, understanding that it is imperative to us as the people of God to pray for them, teach them how to pray, teach them the statutes of the word, teach them the order of God and what it is that God have called us to be and how we ought to live. Unfortunately, we're living in a time now where the heathen is raging and people are imagining a vain thing. We're living in an hour now where people don't want righteousness. We look on our city councils, we look on our school boards, and we see this fight that's going on. But again, people of God, I commend you and I recommend you. I plead with you, I beseech with you that you take the time to talk to your sons and your daughters about the things that's going on in our world. School is no more just about A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. It's no more about 1, 2, 3, math and science and English. That may be what you send them there for. However, we understand that there are life lessons going on in the schoolhouses. There are lessons that they should not be, that they should not learn, and lessons that should not be taught. However, again, we as the people of God must own our own households, because God did speak unto Abraham and he told him on this wise. He said that the only reason why you got favor with me, Abraham, is because I believe that you are going to establish my law in your seed. I just believe that you are a man after my heart and that you are going to establish my righteousness in your sons and in your grandseed. And when you do it, guess what? They're going to multiply. They are going to replenish the earth. And so we as the people of God, this is no time for us to bow or take down, but this is a time that we must stand up and rise up and equip our sons and daughters in the hour that we're living in. Because I know you want to dress them up real good on Monday morning and make sure they got their pigtails and rubber bands and tennis shoes and all that good stuff. But understand this one thing: while you're dressing them outwardly, make sure you're equipping them inwardly, because there is a spiritual warfare that is going on. And the word of the Lord came to me this morning, and he spoke to me on this wise. He said, many are staying out there too long. And when our children that are supposed to be under the covering of God, and they are resisting his will, and we as the people of God have preached to them and we have talked to them, God has spoke to me and revealed to me that because they are remaining in the world too long, we are going to see another level of demonic activity operating through them. And I just want to let you know today that if you are praying for your sons and your daughters, not only do you pray, but you speak the word to them. You let them know that Jesus is coming. You let them know that they have to give an account. You can't live this life for your son and your daughter. Your life, your son and daughter must live this life for themselves. We have to introduce Christ in such a way to our children that they will desire to live after the order of God. We can't live in hypocrisy, people of God. We cannot live in hypocrisy, man of God, woman of God. Our first church is the church at home. And however it is that you are representing in your household, I'm not talking about when you get behind the pulpit. I'm not talking about when you're on the usher board, but I'm talking about the revelation that your sons and daughters see when you are behind closed doors. We have to be an example. We have to be real examples. We cannot be hypocrites, because some of us are our children's hindrance. Some of us are the reason why many of them won't come to church. We're the reason why they don't want to be saved. We are the reason why, because we have not been wise in our witness before them. We have not lived the life that God has called us to live before their eyes. But Abraham was a man that God trusted. And he said, I know you're going to do this. I know that you are going to establish my seed in the earth. You're going to establish that word that I put within you, and you are not going to uproot it. And this is why in the hour of Sodom and Gomorrah, Abraham was still standing. That's why Abraham was able to intercede. Some of us, we can't intercede because we're not standing on the law of God. We're not living the life that he has called us to live. We are hidden and missing. We're playing, we're tripping, and doing everything that we want to do. And then we don't understand why our children, our sons, our daughters are in the condition that they're in. But I come to encourage you on today that God is a still holy God. God is still a righteous God, and God is still calling for a holy people. God is calling daddy to be holy, mama to be holy, grandma, papa, auntie, uncle. We all got to be holy. And understand, when I say holy, I'm not talking about a denomination. I'm talking about a lifestyle. I'm talking about those of you that say that you have the Spirit of God. And understand, if you have the Spirit of God, you have to be holy, because the Spirit of God is a holy God. And so therefore, if you're not holy and you're professing to have the Spirit of God, I just come to let you know there's no way you can be holy without it. So therefore, if you are living an unrighteous life before your household, before those that look up on you, if you still lying, cheating, cussing, fussing, and can't nobody see God, can't see your light, your children don't even know you saved. The old saints used to tell us, if anybody know you saved, it's them that live with you. Your son and your daughter ought to be able to say, yeah, my mama saved. My mama, she saved. My daddy, he'll pray for you. My daddy, he's not Eli. He's holding the reins up on my life. He's not allowing me to live any kind of way that I want to live. And so because we're living in an hour now where the church is rebellious, the children are rebellious, mom and daddy are rebellious, and this is why we have the results of this rebellious seed growing up, and we cannot, it's hard for us to pull the reins in. But I come to let you know that God is still God, and he's still seeking to raise up a people that's going to establish his word in the earth, that's going to cause their seed to worship him, that's going to cause their seed. A lot of times we as parents, we say, well, I don't want to raise my kids like Big Mama raised us. We was in prayer all the time. We was at church all the time. We couldn't do nothing. We couldn't go to the movies. We couldn't go to the prom. It was just a whole lot of stuff we couldn't do. Well, I like Big Mama's theology. I love the way that Big Mama taught her children and her children's children that holiness will bring about a separation. Sanctification means being separated from the world. And so I remember growing up in school, and I remember the sanctified kids, because I was not raised in sanctification, but I would see the sanctified kids come to school, and what they would do is those little girls that wasn't allowed to wear pants, they would have pants in their backpack. And they sneak them on at school. And then all of a sudden, everybody knew that they were sanctified and they wasn't supposed to have them pants on. But I guarantee you, before they left that school campus, they were putting that skirt back on, because they understood that that was a rule in the house, that a man or a woman should not wear those things that pertain to one another. Meaning what, Evangelist Neil? A woman is not supposed to wear anything that pertains to a man. And a man is not supposed to wear anything that is pertaining to a woman. And I get a lot of slack because we're in a time now whereby people feel like they can wear whatever they want to wear, or they ain't got to wear nothing at all. But I come to tell you that when you look at a man in a dress, what goes through your head? If you are righteous, and here it is, we're dealing with this stuff in our school system. But when you see a man in a dress, there's nothing, and there's something on tells you, wait a minute, something is not right about this. This is not right. So if we can look at a man in a dress, why can we not look at a woman in pants and say, wait a minute, hold on a second. Is there something wrong with this? See, that was a law that was established before we even came into the earth. And so God all along was seeking to keep a woman in a woman's place and a man in a man's place. And so now we got women wearing the pants, and not only are they wearing the pants, but they're actually trying to be the man. And so these are the things that have crept in, because a little leaven a whole lot. I know I'm not going to get a whole lot of amens on this one, because we're in a rebellious world, and this women's lib have messed up some women. We got women now wanting to take the place of a man. But I come to let you know, woman, God called you woman because you have a womb, and a man do not have a womb. And so therefore we as women, we ought to be the more gentle. We ought to be the more weaker vessel. Meaning what? When I say weaker, I'm not talking about you all falling apart and you can't handle yourself and you just got to have somebody. No, we are that vessel that is supposed to submit and be able to assist. But because this women's lib thing have gotten such a stronghold, we got women playing football, devil is a liar. We got women that wanting positions that are created for men to do. Created for men to do. And so if you're one of those women and you got that mentality and you say, well, hey, I can do anything a man can do. I want you to pray and ask God to renew your mind and give you the mind of a woman. Because there are just some things we as women cannot do. And on the same token, there are some things that men can't do. And men ought not want to do. But I come to tell you, because our world and our nation, we have accepted some stuff. And it started out as real small, but now it's real big. And now we got boys wanting to be girls. And this is the issue that we got in our school system. And if you don't pray for nothing, you have to ask God, cover my son, cover my daughter. And if they're wrestling in an identity crisis, ask God, Lord, deliver them. Destroy this yoke off of them. Don't let them grow up in a mind of confusion. Let them know that women are women and men are men. Boys are boys and girls are girls. We're living in an hour now where men don't want to say that. But I come to let you know, God said, I made them male and I made them female. There is no in between. I don't care how you feel, because everything ain't about feeling no way. But when we get the God of Abraham, we'll stand up against this Sodom spirit that's coming into our schoolhouses, that's wanting to ravish your son, that wants to ravish our daughters. This same demon is chasing them. But we got to pray, people of God. And I come to let you know that this is Evangelist Suzanne Neal. And I encourage you to pray, 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 pray. Because we are embarking upon another level of demonic activity. Pray for your sons and pray for your daughters. Jesus is soon to come. God bless you.